You know what, I'm gonna pull up our Facebook group too in case somebody asks about the heighten.
Oh, is that what we're calling it? Heighten?
The 10-inch?
Yeah, I thought it was just high 10.
Well, the high 10, I don't put emphasis.
I just call it an elevator.
You call it the elevate. It looked much nicer too.
Did it?
Oh shit, I'm up to sign into my Facebook account. You're a member of the group though, right?
Yeah.
They releasing that Stinger radio yet? For the boats?
I don't know, I don't even know what you're talking about.
They have a boat radio now.
Whatever.
Well,
Good day, everyone, and welcome to the show. So today we have special guests, a special show where we're going to be talking about all the fun that AMP Global products can have for you. Focusing, of course, on PAC because that is one of the integration sides of things that most people have confusion on, we'll say. That seems like to be the easiest thing. So we have two guests here today. We have Ernie Hartman over here, who is
Technical Services Manager.
And we have
Robbie, who is just a
Technical Support Representative.
technical support representative.
He's got to answer the phone.
Yeah,
This is his boss.
the phone guy.
So what we're going to do today is any questions that you have pertaining to any of the AMP Global products, PAC, Stinger, Echo Master, Phoenix Gold, anything like that, we're going to address those today and try to get any of the things that may be an issue or may have had issues and, you know, figure them out for you. Fernando had to leave because he has soccer tonight, so it's just going to be me filling in the role. These guys are going to do all the answering, and I'm just going to read your questions, so everyone will be happy about that. So, right off the bat, we're not going to, okay, so Shane, it's a great question. However, what you might want to do tomorrow is tune into 5 Minutes with 5 Star. Let's kind of keep the questions tonight geared around AMP Global questions and not the, you know, like, hey, what should I do there? What's up from Nicaragua? Factory camera, oh, that's a good one. So, he asked, factory camera integration to the aftermarket head units coming for 2019 Ram.
Factory camera integrate to aftermarket head unit. Okay, so yeah, the safety division, so we call them safety, it's the Echo Master division.
Yep.
They are working on a module to do that. So the problem with those is they're HD and they run over LVDS, and you can't just plug that into a Pioneer. So they're working on a module that does that conversion and doesn't reduce the video quality. And they're also trying to put like a switcher into it as well, I believe. I could be mistaken, but yeah, it's definitely being worked on. That's one of their top projects. That's going hand in hand with our Elevate in the Jeep JL and all that. So it's coming. We don't have anything currently, but soon.
All right, so at least we know what it is. Triple shit. Oh shoot, question. Y'all make like triple shielded RCAs, so how? Oh wow. Okay, hold on.
How do you get rid of alternator wine and something?
Alternator wine playing through speakers.
Man, there's so many factors in that.
I would recommend going back and just watching the show with John Catalano. We really dig deep into the RCA things. That'd be the show to watch for that. What's up from Massachusetts?
I mean, just a couple pointers on that though. So I mean, you know, your wiring path is one thing. You know, some of our RCAs have a drain wire, and if you run it backwards, you're actually dumping noise into your amp instead of you know, getting rid of it. So, I mean, but again, just engine noise, there's like 1,000 things that could be causing that. So, AMPPRO for Subaru, pretty pleased. So, man, yeah.
This is Jason, by the way. He works out at Stereo Kings in Oregon. They have a 4-chain store.
House?
Yeah.
So, what I hear, the new Subarus, I think, are SPDIF. So, I could be wrong on that. They might be Ethernet, but I mean, you know, we got GM to do with the Ethernet and Ford with the A to B. So I mean,
it's low on the list.
It's low on the list.
Audio Control says hi. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
2011 Silverado. I have an RP5, but it doesn't pick up backup trigger.
I've
tested.
We skipped one.
Yeah,
oh wait, Dodge 3500 with a Kenwood. I have an RP4CH11. Two things. Where do you plug into the back of the deck? What?
For what regarding?
You talking about the steering wheel controls, or I don't know what he's asking. Get some clarification there, Larry.
Okay, so let's go back to this one here. 2011 Silverado. I have an RP5, but it does not pick up the backup trigger. I've tested it in other vehicles, and it works. Any suggestions?
So it's an 11 Silverado. That's 29-bit. RP5, it doesn't pick up. So you're saying it doesn't throw a reverse trigger. Test it in another vehicle and it works. Any suggestions? So if you test it in another vehicle and it works and it's not working in your vehicle, there's something different about that vehicle. I mean, we just respond to data commands. So if it's not seeing the command in your truck, but it is in another truck, that tells me that the CAN transceiver and the output FET's working. So you have something else in your truck, maybe a remote start, some type of other integration module. Maybe it's a Super Duty or HD or manual transmission. If it's a manual transmission, that'll mess with it too. So.
Okay. Greetings from Russia. Is there anything in the works for a 2013 to 2017 Honda Accord which would allow us to keep the MIID display above the factory radio functional?
Negative.
Okay, so I'll interject here. The easiest way to do that is to make a T-harness, buy the Scosche kit. They don't make one. Take the factory radio, relocate it into the glove box. You can remove everything off of the radio but the silver box. There are two harnesses, the power and a secondary one for the screen. You need constant accessory, ground, and illumination. Those 4 wires have to be carried through on the main power T-harness, and you have to just lengthen the top screen. That doesn't have to be a T-harness. And then everything will work fine.
Well, like IE bus? Is that IE bus?
Yeah,
or what?
yeah. It's just, but that'll allow the top screen to work 100%. It's pretty cool.
There we go, 03 Silverado. I'm wanting a harness for backup camera and Sirius. So 03 didn't come with Sirius. What harness should I use for my Silverado? Also, is it possible to swap out a steering wheel with fighting controls? It is possible to swap out the steering wheel. And that 03, that was like borderline for the Class 2 initiative. So if you've got an 03 Silverado that has satellite, then
You're still going to want a new tuner.
yeah, you're gonna want a new tuner.
And a new
it
antenna.
depends if you have OnStar. Like if it's bare bones and you're adding a steering wheel, then a GM1A RS.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Or if you had to, yeah, that's got that analog wire too. We tell people in the Corvette to go to. So yeah, you could do a GM1A RS. If you have OnStar and want to retain it, a GM1A RS.
But an 03 would have had
Analog OnStar.
analog OnStar, so it wouldn't even function anymore.
Unless they swapped out the module.
Yeah. No one ever did that.
AP4 CH41 had the remote output stop working after about a month of working. Okay, had to use a cigarette lighter for trying. Okay, so we don't see many problems with AMPPROs, but the remote wire is one. And if it was working for a while and then stopped, it either got shorted out or got pinched somewhere, or it might have just popped the output. It depends on the vehicle it's in. So if it's like a Chrysler 200 with an aluminum body, you got to run a ground to the battery. Otherwise, you're going to try to pull ground through the module, and that's not good. So my best suggestion on that would be to check your remote wire, make sure it's not pinched, and return it to the place of purchase for an exchange.
There you go. All right.
You got there for Shane.
What's that?
There's one for Shane.
Shane. Oh, yeah, okay. Do you guys have a module that will work with a 2007 Dodge Ram hands-free buttons on the mirror to program custom features?
I don't understand the question.
So I'm thinking there's buttons on the mirror and they want to be able
buttons
to...
to control the radio?
Maybe. That would be weird. The answer, I'm sure, is no.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be way too complex. I'd have to look at schematics and talk to you on the phone and do some troubleshooting with a meter, so... I don't even know if those buttons are
reportable.
Yeah, I don't know
Probably
if they
not.
talk to something through LIN bus. Like, I don't know. We've never had anybody ask that. I mean, anything's possible. It just depends on
Shoot
how
us an
deep you
email.
want
I'll
deep.
look it up later.
On the 2000 on the previous.
So just to add to what Robbie just said, support at ampglobal.com. Anything we talk about, if you have questions you want to call, or email us about it, it's support at ampglobal.com. It comes straight into our system, and we can always carry on.
Or Facebook Messenger. I get those directly.
Yep.
I have a 2004 Silverado with steering wheel controls. When I push the volume up, down, it makes my Sony volume go up. So when I push volume down, it makes my Sony go up. Ooh, it's a Sony.
Yeah, so you probably got an XAVA X series. You need to go in and set the steering wheel controls to custom instead of preset. And if it's already set up that way, then just push the programming button, let it time out. It should reset itself. If that don't work, just manually remap them. Or you might have the 3.5 not plugged in all the way on the back of the radio too.
What about close resistance? Well, I
It
guess
depends on the car. What kind of car do you say?
it was a 2000.
04 Silverado. That's
Yeah.
so. It depends on what module he's got. If he's got an RC and he went down to the BCM, it's analog. But if you got like an RP4, RP5, we're catching them digitally behind the radio.
Okay.
But my guess is it's the Sony XAV.
That would be my guess. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? Okay. All right, hold on. The mirror link is the hands-free module. So that's what they're talking in the Dodge. They were talking about the mirror link hands-free module.
So is that factory Dodge?
No.
Mirror link?
All right.
Shoot us an email, man.
Shoot an email on that one explaining more, and then they'll see if they can figure that one out. Please explain the new GM data harness and the acronyms that replace the RP3, 4, and 5.
I know what you're talking about. So you're talking about the GM1As. So the GM1A, that's Radio Pro Advanced.
Yep.
So the GM1, that's like in a RP4 GM11. So GM, General Motors, 1 is the first gen data system, and then the A is for advanced. So then, like, if we made a 29-bit for the RP5 GM31, that would be a GM3A, because that was the third data system. Then the nomenclature after the fact, you know who came up with this, dude.
Oh, I love Nathan. So for all you guys
G
that just go, what the hell is he talking about? Please send a email to nathanwinsect@amp.com.
So then for the rest of it, so you got GM1A, it's General Motors first generation Radio Pro Advanced. The R, so there's GM1AR, that's for radio replacement, simple module, that'd be like the RP3. You got a GM1ARX, so the X is for the expansion port, so that's an R with a plug for a VS41. Then you got
the VS41 is to do
a 4 video switcher.
because you guys ask about adding multi-cameras all the time. VS41. Okay.
So then you got a GM1ARS, that's radio steering wheel controls. That would be an RP4 GM11. You got a GM1ART, that's radio and telematics, no steering wheel controls. That's like an OS2X. And then you got a GM1ARST, which is radio, steering wheel controls, and telematics. So that would be an RP5 at GM11. And all of those had the expansion port for the VS41.
No, welcome to our world. Here you go. Does PAC make an interface module for the 2020 Lexus RCF with the available Mark Levinson system? If not, what about the 2020 Lexus RCF without the Mark Levinson audio system?
So you'd have a better chance without Mark Levinson. So any Lexus that has nav or Mark Levinson is MOST. It's MOST over copper.
MOST is the data bus, by the way.
Right, it stands for Media Oriented System Transport. Anything with MOST, all the audio carries over MOST digitally. It's not even an analog FITS level, it's all digital like GM. So we don't make anything for Lexus. The Lexus vehicles that are non-nav, non-Mark Levinson, they're all amplified, but it's fixed level analog. So with a 2020, you'd have a good shot at like an AP4 TY13, and that plugs in at the amplifier.
Hey, just so happen to have this one right here. Hey.
So again, if you want to shoot us an email, support@ampglobal.com, we can look at some schematics for you on that and see what's up.
Okay, I also have an AP4 CH41R2. I'm using optical out to an audio control 608. Instructions say when using optical, RCA fronts are active. Can I use that to send signals to a second DSP?
So you can do whatever you want with those signals. Just a little bit about the AMPPRO. So you got front, rear, non-fading on the outputs. The front is tied directly to the toslink out, and they all function at the same time. So if you're using the toslink out and you want to use the RCAs as well, just flip dip switch 1. Probably, is it 1 or 2? 1 is for 2-channel, right?
Yes.
Flip dip switch 1 down, that puts it into 2-channel mode, so that does away with the fader, and then you can run the outputs to whatever you want, as much as you want. So yeah.
Saw the AMP Global truck in Augusta, Georgia a few weeks ago.
That was Christian Ben. Georgia's his territory. Cool guy. He's been with AMP a long time.
Okay, here's a good one. Why are Japanese imports usually neglected when it comes to integration?
The short answer is we need about 20 more engineers. I mean, honestly, the big 3 is where we get the biggest revenue from. Ford, Chrysler, GM. We actually have the easiest access to those cars too. We have a pretty good in at Honda, but I mean, at the end of the day, man, the big 3 is where, you know,
where the money is.
That's where the money is, man, and money pays the bills. So, you know, some things just changed at AMP though. The press release went out. We got acquired by a new investment corporation, and when a new investment corporation comes in,
oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
They want to start spending more money, man. So I'm looking forward to all the stuff that's coming, and hopefully we can stop neglecting things. You know.
It says here I have a 2012 Acura TL with ELS premium sound system. Any integration capabilities on that? Do you know what the ELS system is?
I mean, what's the integration for what? I don't know.
I'm assuming radio.
No. we don't really do much for Honda and Acura in the way of radio price. We have kits, but you know, you lose the giant screen above. So like Dean said, relocate the radio and good to go.
Who of our guests has the better system comparison to others? So what do you have in your car?
That's the SPL knuckle
Two
dragger right
15s,
there.
4 channels, and like a dozen.
What kind of
mids.
15s?
They're PSI platform 3s on an 8K.
You need to come on the show more.
And 3 big batteries.
How much?
And 3 big batteries.
So we have the SPL knucklehead here. Way to go.
And I'm the SQ guy.
What do you have in your truck?
I have a Hertz high energy 3-way setup and Arc Audio DSP, Phoenix Gold 6-channel amp on the mids and highs, 601 on the subs, all Hertz high energy speakers.
Well, there you go. And I have factory, so they both beat me. What pack would you what pack would I need for an 03 Santa Fe to add an aftermarket system? Hold on. And also, will the factory amp change ohms?
So an 03 Santa Fe, that's pretty basic, man. There's nothing special about that. Just go to go here to pack-audio.com.
Let me zoom in here to you guys.
Look up. So let's see what we got here. Let's see, Hyundai.
So this is the pack-audio.com website that we talk about all the time.
We also, one of my guys, Rick, handles that too. He deals with all these applications, me and him. So then I hit up search. And then the cool thing about the site that nobody knows about is the filter on the side. So you can come over here to the side, just click radio replacement. So
washing it out a little bit.
No, I'm bringing it down.
I mean, it looks like that was a rebadged GM. So you got so you got a Hyundai kit, you got a BHA 2003, or it could be a BHA 7301. Back then, Hyundai was a huge hodgepodge. So I mean, there's nothing really special needed for that. If you got a factory amp, I would suggest bypassing it because, you know,
it should be variable voltage at that point in 03.
Yeah, you could, but you don't know if it's balanced or unbalanced or any of that. If you want some schematics on the car, again, email support@ampglobal.com. We'd be happy to help you out, man. But you know, back then in Hyundai wasn't anything too complicated, man. Me personally, I'd gut the whole car and replace everything. So.
New radio, and they don't. It's a regular harness, so you don't need anything.
Robbie is definitely a big bass head. Oh, you know him?
Yeah.
So there were some other questions that
there was a
went
guy
down.
asking about a Toyota Avalon.
All right, let me see if I can go back.
It's bullet, yeah, the blue guy.
This guy right here.
Yeah.
Which pack do I need for my 2005 Toyota Avalon with JBL system so that I can also retain my screen that shows my climate controls?
Does it have nav? Wasn't that one of the stipulations for that?
Yeah. The stipulation for the RP4 to work is, does it have? He said it has JBL, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you got an RP 4.2 TY11. This guy right here. This will retain everything, your upper screen, give you nav outputs, retain your steering wheel controls, all that.
Let me zoom. That's this guy right here.
RP 4.2-TY11. So you can use that along with this dash kit. If I can get this Mac to go back.
Fingers, 2 fingers.
It's loading.
Oh, yeah, it's. Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah, so yeah. If you don't have steering wheel controls, which I'm sure you do, you can do an RP3, but I mean, RP4 is the way to go.
And those have the protocol to retain that upper screen?
Yes, they do, for sure.
Just that car, though.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I know. Trust me, I know.
Not the Prius. Yep, so there you go. What's next? There was another question after that about it.
There's always more questions.
No AMPPRO for
Robbie is all about
2020.
the SPL.
Yeah, no AMPPRO.
All right, hold on. Let me see what we got here.
I want to give a shout out to Pack Tech Sport Helps Fast.
He wants to know where we get the shirts. That's a common question we get a lot.
Send me your address to support@ampglobal.com and I'll send you a stack of them, man.
Okay, there you go. What pack? Okay, we did that one. Okay, hold on. Go up here.
Pack Tech Support. Shout out. What was that?
Oh, where?
Right there. Had an issue with the Mazda module not giving me reverse signal. Got me a print of the.
Oh, it just updated.
Yeah, it updates.
Well, if it was this weekend, it was either Travis or Justin. So Travis is the lead tech support guy. He's the guy that wrangles all that stuff all day because, like, I'm like a working manager, so I'm still involved in engineering and pack and all that stuff. So, you know, these guys answer the phone, and I still try to stay busy. I don't like to just bark orders all day. So you either got Travis or Justin. 2 great guys, man. Always willing to help.
All right, so anything mechanic radios?
No
Honda.
Honda.
Okay, no Hondas. No Hondas coming. Hey, from California. All right.
This guy, oh, he's got my module, BCI module on a 15
Okay.
Grand Cherokee. When the turn signal activates side camera, my LED headlights very briefly flicker. Can I do something not too annoying? That's interesting. Why would it do that? Could the headlights on those flash when you put the blinker on, don't they?
I don't know. I don't
I
have
think
that
they
truck.
do, because they have running lights. Gary's wife has that truck. When turn signal activates side cameras, my LED headlights very. So, just as a troubleshooting thing, I would try changing the settings. Like, I don't know what you have it set to, but there's many different options. You can do blinker on, double tap a blinker, blinker over 10 miles an hour or 20 miles an hour. So try messing around with those settings. You can access that through the cluster, or if you plug your computer in and use the BCI app. Yeah. So
And if you still have the issue, email them at,
support at ampglobal.com.
and they'll do some research on it.
Yeah, for sure. Funny story about that. I want to tell everybody.
Oh, go right ahead. I'm
the
gonna cry for a
BCI,
minute.
the BCI CH41 was created like out of sheer boredom at one point, because we had like a new director of engineering come in and everything was changing. And would you break your toe again?
Yeah.
And
I like
so
those shoes.
myself and the engineer that writes a lot of the code for PAC, we both had, Chrysler products. So we're like, let's make a BCI, because I needed a backup camera and he wanted nav unlock. And then we started switching steering wheel controls around, and we just kept like throwing everything in there, and you got the kitchen sink, and like now that's one of our best sellers. And it was all because we were just like bored.
Hey, and we got a TR4 too, because you were bored.
Oh yeah, that was from Free Time Friday.
Free time Friday.
Innovations Day, it was something else.
We missed a bunch.
Yeah, there's a
that
bunch down
updated.
there.
Hey Anthony, what's going on? Stereo in the glove box. Yep. All right, hello y'all. My AMPPRO for Chevy is turning off the audio, and it is a
Is that
V12.
the latest? Let's go look.
Uh,
So when we first released the AP4 GM61, we had an
Yep.
issue where you would lose audio on the key cycle.
Okay.
We fixed that problem, but here's what you can do. You can go on the website and look at the product page. What is this thing doing,
it's
man?
opening another window.
Why?
Because you
You
might.
click the picture.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay. Sorry, he's a Windows guy. The Windows wasn't working. I don't understand your question, Will. We're here, so
he's
I
on
mean,
he's on V12. So I'm guessing you might have a non-Bose system. We've had reports of the AMPPRO and non-Bose. When you end a Bluetooth call, the audio blips out. So if you just change sources, it'll come back. Just be aware we don't really support or advertise.
Yeah, Dip Switch 3 was a thing. So is it the remote turn-on cutting off, or is it just audio in
No,
general?
it's something to do with the. I don't really know. I don't really know what it is. I'm not an engineer, but I
Yeah.
know that with the amplified systems, when you would cycle the key, the most bus was super busy and we weren't reporting correctly or something, and it would make the audio shut off. So whoever that was, if you want to let me know if you got Bose or non-Bose, we can go from there.
Send us a message.
Oh,
Yes, it's non-Bose.
Yeah, so if it's doing it when you end a Bluetooth call, then just switch sources and it'll come back.
So it's just part of the Dip Switch 3 fun.
No, Dip Switch 3 has to do with AM, FM, XM. So in the non-Bose applications, when GM did a firmware update, if you put like an audio peripheral device in there, it would knock out audio on the left side.
Mhm.
So if you flip Dip Switch 3 on, we mirror right to left, so you're getting like two right sides. It's,
Right.
It's
Yeah.
kind of mono.
Well, yeah, I know, but
It's not even
that,
mono, it's just double right side.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And every other company does the same thing too. It's a bug in the GM firmware and the tuner. So
Love GM. What would be the easiest, best vehicle in your opinion to upgrade in the past 10 years? I'm looking to buy a newer vehicle.
do you want a truck or a car? If you want a truck, the Ram. My truck's super awesome. It's easy to put stuff in. It's great. As far as a car, I don't know.
What kind of car do
Something
you have?
Chevy, Ford, or
Definitely not a
No
Honda,
Chevy.
apparently,
No
because
Chevy. I would say
you know.
Toyota. Maybe.
yeah, probably a
Or-
Toyota.
Yeah.
Need
Amplified
gas-
diarrhea. Need gaskets for TI3 subs and was told no dice. Called in regarding TI3 12.4 amp.
Sorry, this thing just kind of does that.
Flexibility and tech support was unenthusiastic as can be. Will, when did you call in, man? I tell you what, if you shoot an email to that, support@ampglobal.com, and say you seen me here and mention my name, it will get to me, and I will dig into it and see who you talked to and what happened, man. You know, I can't promise you I can provide parts for products because that's customer service, but I can definitely help with the attitude of my guys, because that's one of the things. When I took over, I was like, we got to stop being jerks to everybody. We, you know, treat people how you want to be treated. Like, I don't deal with that. So if there's a problem I need to deal with, I'll deal with it. And I apologize if you had a bad experience.
There we go. Guys, I got a 2017 Cruise. Any plans to make a module to be able to replace the factory infotainment unit?
So, plans, yes. When? Don't know. On all the new Chevys, you can use our steering wheel control module, the Control Pro 5 or the Control Pro 2, and that will retain your steering wheel controls and give you an accessory turn on. It's not going to retain anything else in the car, but if you really want to get something in there, it'll
I've
get
had
it
a guy
done.
put a radio in place of the LCD screen.
Up top?
Yeah.
Well, now that you have the new short chassis radios.
Do they? Yeah.
Well, I mean, because now the radios are only 3
Yeah.
inches deep or 2.5
Slam
inches
Elevate
deep.
in there from Stinger.
He just
Put the
ended
brains
up like
somewhere.
molding
Oh, yeah,
into
that's
that
true.
space.
Yeah, go with the Elevate. Hell no, go with the high 10.
Coming soon.
Uh,
Now that you brought
What's
it
up from
I gotta show
Colorado?
everyone.
yeah.
That's it. Zoom in on that.
Which one? Oh, okay, hold on.
So Dean brought up the Heighten or the High 10. So this is the Elevate that we currently sell, and then that has an 8-inch screen with a floating display. This is the High 10. We just debuted it at SEMA, and it's coming sometime first quarter. I'm not in Stinger PD, so I don't know exact dates, but it's really cool. It's like an Elevate, but with a 10-inch screen. So it's a lot
Wow,
bigger.
is that for the Jeep? Is that in a Jeep kit?
This is the mount for the Jeep JL. So we have direct replacements for the Jeep. Is that the new one, the JL?
Yeah.
So that's the mount for the JL. That's also the mount for the JL. Cool stuff. I'm probably gonna put that in my truck because giant screen. And so both of these have toslink out that's variable with the volume on the radio, and good stuff, man. Thanks for what you do. The BCI and AMPPRO work amazingly well on my Jeep. Where'd he go?
Oh, sorry. Where were you?
I don't think people fully realize what you can do to add that BCI, 4 cameras plus an I had all that in my Ram too. I literally just took it out today because I put the new dash kit for the Ram in there that's still in development.
Yeah, we'll definitely email him. If it was a couple months ago, so send him an email and
A couple months ago, I have every SX2 and TI3, including 606. I'm a big fanboy. All right, well, just
Do you have a Zen 9?
I don't even have a Zen 9.
I have mine.
We
It's
can't
right
even
there.
get a Zen 9.
I have a Zen. You want to buy one?
I
Nice on it.
I got my 6-channel.
I don't want to have to buy any electronics.
I know. Does the High 10 have optical? Yes, it does.
Yes,
Which
it
is
does.
so
That is
variable
out.
variable out, just like the 8.
When will Elevate get better resolution? I guess when the Heighten comes out. I don't.
Well, what's wrong with your resolution? I mean, it's actually the screen on the Elevate is 900 pixels wide, which is bigger. It's 900 by 640, which is better than the 800 by 480 that everyone else has used. The only one that's better than that is the Kenwood. That's because it's a smaller screen with closer pixel density. So, you know, I don't know if it's the OS maybe, but otherwise.
So this might be a dumb question, but what's the relationship between Pack Audio and these guys? So AMP owns Pack, Echo Master, Phoenix Gold, Stinger, Best Kits. We got Auto Leads, Connects 2. So AMP is the parent company for a lot of different sub companies, and Pack is one of them. And I spent 10 years in Pack engineering before I became technical services manager, and pretty much every Pack product that you touch, I've had some part in one way or another. So.
All right, anything for the 2019 Sprinter as to replace the radio? Has anyone looked at one of those yet?
No, I know we
I
have
had a guy
the.
put one in and it worked.
Is that the
Yeah. It whips. Yeah, that guy said it worked.
CH21? Or the MB, so Mercedes?
Yeah, that's the
yeah, it's a
MB.
Mercedes.
Thinking
That's
going
the
on.
FCTP kit.
Yeah, but that's to add cameras
Fernandez,
and stuff.
L. Fernandez
Yeah, but it's
19,
also
no. It will not. Different harness.
Does AMP service old Phoenix Gold Cyclone? I got 2 that need service. So for the Sprinter, I mean, we've had reports, man. Again, if you want to send an email to support@ampglobal.com, we can check our records and see what people have supported. We can look at schematics. That would be an RP 4.2 MB11 for, you know, we have one with radio and one that came with a radio delete. So does AMP service old Phoenix Gold Cyclone? So if it was made before we purchased PG, then no, but we send a lot of people to,
Place?
I don't know, you guys
I don't
know.
remember it. Send me an email. I'll look it up.
Give them the email
We
address.
have- It's support at AMP Global.
And who should they table it to?
You can address it to me, Robbie.
So put Robbie on the top.
We have a guy somewhere in the country that we send
In the middle of the U.S. somewhere. He does it for us.
Yeah, ask me too quick. I normally know his name. So.
Can I get kits from Connects 2 from your, or do I have to order them directly from overseas? Ooh.
You know, that is a question you should direct to sales@ampglobal.com, because I had someone ask that question in our Facebook tech group the other day, and I honestly don't know the answer. Or maybe
It's a big fat no.
Yeah.
You got to get it from overseas.
I think there was a couple people on the syndicate, so if Fro's House is a member of the syndicate, go on there and search Connects 2, and there was just a big giant thread about where to buy
Connects
that
2 stuff?
Yeah, Connects 2. I know we own them, but remember, guys, I'm in engineering and tech support. I don't sell anything. I don't know about prices, availability, none of that. I just can tell you how to work it and how to hook it up. So.
Sell me the Zen 9. It's not for sale. Just saying, it's not for sale.
I live in Orange County. What happened to the place in Santa Ana? So Santa Ana moved, when we bought Rosen in 2015, they closed the Santa Ana office and moved it. They consolidated it to Ontario, because we had a warehouse in Ontario, California. So then we had engineering in Corona, warehouse in Ontario. They recently consolidated that, so now all of our California facilities are in Ontario.
They said, you look like Fernando, just got taller and gained weight.
Whatever.
How many amps can an AMPPRO turn on? So what is the remote turn on amperage output?
2 amps.
So that would be, depending on the amplifier you have.
Anything new, a whole slew of them. But if you're getting like old school, like I measured an old US amps once. That thing had like a 800 milliamp turn on draw through the remote. So yeah.
Wow.
You know, if you're doing more than a couple amps, I would always suggest
adding a relay.
Put a relay on it. Yeah. No AMPPRO for the new Honda, of course. Right now, the next AMPPROs that are coming are for the new GMs and the new Ford A to Bs. So.
Yay. Okay, hold on.
I think we missed a few.
Oh, we did. I'm gonna scroll back. Hold on. Okay, here we go. On Instagram show, Dean said no AMPPRO for new Honda Accords. Yeah, that's true. I did say that.
You just said something about a new.
Hold on, I'm trying to.
Can you have Globe? There's so many questions. Oh my god.
So like you just said, 2019 Silverado non-Bose isn't available yet.
2019 Silverado. If it's a 1500, no, that's the Ethernet. If it's the Super Duty, then yeah, the AMPPRO will work. But just remember the quirks with the non-Bose. So.
Yeah, you could take a look at the harness and see if it matches.
You all are the best in just about everything but audio. I don't know what to say that.
I don't either. It's
Audio
okay.
Syndicate, go look for you and steal your system. Okay. Can you add more custom features to the steering wheel control buttons for the CB5 when programming? What I want the button to do, like when you press on button 3 times, give you another set off. Geez, we already do short press, long press.
That'd be really confusing.
Yeah, that people are already get their mind blown by that. I mean,
so that's
could we? Absolutely, but we got
lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one here that I wanted to hit because it brings me back to... Okay, solution for a Mazda CX-3 to add an amplifier to power the door speakers. So I'm assuming he's got a factory radio. What would you recommend if it's CX-3?
Is it Bose, non-Bose? What's the CX-3? Is that little hatchback thing?
Probably. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't say it doesn't say Bose, so let's assume it's a non-Bose.
It's a non-Bose, and he wants to add an LP7-4. But what kind of amplifier? I would an SX2 804.
Or go with the new MX4.
Yeah, the MX 804.
And that has high level built into it,
yes,
so you can simply just.
Also known as balanced and unbalanced. That's a whole other thing.
But, yeah, we won't go there.
The MX 804, that's a nice solid amp, and you really don't need a line output converter. It turns on via signal, and you can run the speaker wires right into the...
RPK4CH41.
Hey, Richard R. knows more than he should. RPK4CH4103. So it's the 4101, and that's what I installed in my truck today, and it's coming very, very soon.
So that's a Dodge full-size kit.
Here, I'll...
It's got a picture of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I literally just installed it today.
It's pretty cool.
I don't know how well that looks online, but it's just like our Ford kit. It's got the LCD screen down there at the bottom, and I threw a Pioneer Nex in. So it's still in development, but it's coming along, and it will be available very soon. Super nice kit.
Any secret source you can share about 2020 Long Beach?
I mean, that's just Knowledge Fest, man. We'll probably be showing, you know, the Heighton, the Ram kit. We got some Grand Cherokee and Durango kits coming, but I mean, if there's a secret, I don't know about it.
Yeah, that'd be Jeff.
That's all Jeff Smith. Yeah, hit him up. jsmith at ampglobal.com.
Keep him busy.
Ernesto Ruiz, is that Ernie? Is that my guy? Go back.
What are we looking at?
Ernesto Ruiz. Oh no, that's funny, man. I got a guy that works for me in Cali named Ernie Ruiz. I thought is he messing with me?
So that was non-Bose. Okay, so yeah, so the truck. So the Mazda was a non-Bose. So yeah.
So MX 804, man. Run it right into the amp. Put the switch on balance, and there you go.
Perfect. All right, let me see here.
What's your favorite old school system?
Ooh, okay, I'll take that one.
I came up in the 90s, man. I started doing this in 93, and where I'm from in Georgia, we loved our Rockford
I was
amps.
born when you started.
Yeah, I've been doing this as long as he's been alive. So we loved we loved our Rockford Punch amps and Kicker Solo Barracks, man. So I mean, the truck that like wowed me was Mark Fakuta's Yellow Blazer.
Oh yeah.
With the Power 1000s and like
there's
the flaps
pictures
on
of
the
that
back.
recently online.
Yeah, dude, that was
buried it.
In Car Audio Magazine, when I saw that truck, I was like, wow. And then the first system I ever heard was two M&M Godfather 18s on an Orion Beast and a Dodge Omni. I listened to that thing for about 10 seconds, and I was like, this is what I need in my life. Like, I want to do that. How do you spell Heighton? Heigh-10. Heighton.
Yeah.
What in your mind do you think is the best car or truck for SQ? Man, SQ can be obtained in anything as long as you know how to tune it properly. So, I mean, the guru for that's going to be either Andy Waymeyer or Ken Ward. Those guys have taught me a lot, and you know, you can always go to audiofrog.com or edgecar.com and
or find Jeff Smith and just talk to him.
Yeah, Jeff Smith, he's all into that stuff, man. I've seen him sit in our bay for hours tuning his car and tweaking this and that. Like,
yes, so. Jeff still owes the CDs. So what is okay? I only want to do this just because I find it to be funny. What is your favorite old school?
Yeah, what do you consider old school?
What do you consider old school?
I mean, we put 418s on 30,000 watts in a Jeep.
What kind of equipment?
Cherokee. It was
equipment?
4 or 5 ETL 18s on the old American Bass, like giant stack amps that were 2 5Ks put together.
So American Bass.
Yeah.
You know the guy you met, Paul, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he used to. I know.
You know, his brother owns American Bass. Okay.
That's funny. Those used to be our entry level amps at Griffin Stereo. The
American
little chrome,
Bass?
the little chrome 200 watt amps. Those on 2 Power Acoustic 10s. Boom, next, boom, next.
So someone was asking to go back and talk about the High 10 again. Some of the specs real quick.
I mean, I hope I'm not misspeaking on this. I'm not in Stinger product development, but you know, from what I understand, it's just like the Elevate, except it's got a larger screen.
Same chassis.
It's the same chassis on the backside. It does all Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's got TOS-Link out. It's got HDMI in. If there's anything extra, so I'm ignorant to that right now.
So if the Elevate has it, this will also have it. So that's a good place to start.
So if you zoom in again right there, you can show him. Zoom in.
No, we're not.
No? Okay.
It looked like crap.
2016 Ram Tradesman 2500, changing the radio. I don't have steering controls. Can I add them later? So, cool story, bro. The RP4 CH21, you can actually use the menu buttons on the front of the steering wheel, and you can program those as steering wheel control. The trick to using them is to be in like your speedometer screen or something like that. That way it doesn't change the menu, but you can make the up, down, and left, right arrows on that steering wheel do things for your radio.
Yeah, we always program volume up and down. Those are the easiest ones to do. That way, because left and right typically screws up the menu.
That makes, it starts changing your
so
menu.
we always just program the 2 volume up and down buttons, and then if you have to get into the menu, you just make sure that the radio's off.
Any chance at DSP integrated amps? I mean, knowing what I know where PG's going, I'm going to say no, not right now.
And I would go with no on that one too.
Yeah.
Not that I know anything.
The Stinger, or I'm sorry, the PG product manager showed me some pics of a new line at SEMA. I don't remember the part numbers. I don't really know all the specs. They're super
they
cool,
didn't have
super
DSPs
stout,
either.
but they're it's going to be our new flagship. So they're not DSP integrated, but you know, I don't know. again,
Do we need it though? I mean, I feel we need it. But
I don't know. You're in the retail world.
I mean, I want an 8-channel DSP amp. Anything other than that, it's just kind of silly.
I mean, the ones I hear most about is the JL-VXIs, but I mean, I'm not promoting my competition, but that's the only amps I know that Audio Control has them too, right?
All of them have them. Everyone has them. The only companies that don't have them is like Rockford.
And
Kicker has the Q class.
So
Audison has.
they have DSP in the amp.
Yeah.
So you know more.
Yeah.
about it
Well,
than
of
me.
course, that's what I do. I mean, but no.
Every day, right?
Yeah, every day. Woo!
Pack ever buy 5-star stereo? No.
Paul would never sell it.
I have pushed the idea to the uppers to buy a stereo shop, but they tell me to get out. So. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be a cool place to train the tech guys. I think it'd be a cool place for the engineers to work on cars. I think it'd be a cool place for our salesmen to go, get a taste of the real world. But I don't call the shots. So.
Do you know if the Elevate will read NTFS, the file format system for hard drives?
I don't. I think it has to be FAT. I think it has to all be FAT.
So it's FAT 32. So there you go.
I think so. I could be wrong. I don't know. Robbie knows more about the Elevate than me. So
I wouldn't even know
never
that.
plugged a hard drive into it?
I can try it.
He's got one on his desk that we jam with all day long. That way, I pulled one from stock and made him hook it up on his desk and learn how to use it. So.
Are you doing all designs in-house now that Mance isn't involved?
So
I think we're talking about the Phoenix Gold.
I mean, I know all the Phoenix Gold stuff is designed out west. I mean, everything we make, we design in-house. Of course, it's manufactured in Asia, but all of the designing and engineering for all of our brands are done in-house. So
Steve Mance. So I'm guessing that was somebody who worked at.
He must have been one of the old school guys like Morgan West or Larry Frederick.
Yeah. So no does FAT 32. Okay, thanks, Axeman. You want one for your car? Let me know.
Ram owners love sheep. Bah. You guys recommend using
Hold on, let me see what this is. Hello. All right, hold on. What was this?
What do you guys recommend to use on the 2019 Silverado non-Bose? So, recommend for what? Amp integration, radio replacement? Is it
an HD?
Is it a HD? Is it a 1500? Is it old body style, new body style? I don't know. You got to clarify a little bit more.
So, okay, well, let's expand on that just a little bit. Is there anything? So, is there any? Right now, there's the regular 1500, like you talked about earlier. Is there any radio replacement harness available for that?
For the new body style, no, because again, that's a whole new dash. It's a new plug. It's new data. It's new everything. So. They did make a 2019 Silverado Classic. It's called the LD series.
Yep.
For that, you just use an RP5 GM51 or an AP4 GM61.
They have the standard 15 right now. There's nothing yet.
We got nothing. We have a camera system coming out for it from the safety division, but as far as audio integration, nothing.
And just to be fair, no one else has anything else either. So right now, that's one of the holes in the industry.
Yeah, well, that's not so true.
What's that?
NAB TV just released their Zen product for the Ethernet stuff.
Oh, is that what that's for? Yeah, but they still have a radio replacement.
Nah, NAB TV doesn't really do much radio replacement.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I was talking about is radio replacement.
Not so much.
Yeah. No. Hold on. Let's say.
What he said, ask AB Amp. So, I don't really know. I know, like I said, I was shown some new product lines at SEMA, but I don't know if they're ABD. I don't know. I'm not involved in the engineering division of the audio section. So as far as what's coming or what's on the plate, I know as much as you do, man. I don't know.
So that's that. All right. So
Justin Ferroni, I know him. He's all on the forums.
So let's talk a little bit about the back to when we were doing all the acronyms on like the RP4, RP3, RP5, and the new models. Let's just talk about what RP3, RP4, and RP5 is. Just kind of break those down. Those are obviously radio replacements. That's what the RP stands for. But what's the difference between like a 3, a 4, and a 5?
So it's like good, better, best. So the RP3 just strictly gives you accessory output, your nav outputs, and it gives you like a pigtail for a steering wheel control module, like a CP2 or an RC. We even have like the LC modules. They're base model, just accessory output. That's it.
Right.
The RP3 gives you accessory, nav outputs, and a pigtail with steering wheel controls. The RP4 gives you all that with steering wheel controls, and then the RP5 gives you all that with telematics retention. So the only RP5s we make are for GM.
Okay, I hope that helped. What's the hardest vehicle currently to date to integrate into, i.e. aftermarket stereo amp or
2019
speakers?
Chevy Silverado.
All right, so here we go.
What's Will talking about there? What about the late model Grand Cherokee down at the bottom? You just went past
Heating
it.
controls.
Oh.
I'm trying. I didn't see it.
The heating controls are integrated. So we have a kit. The kit I showed you for the Ram, we're making one for the Grand Cherokee too. So it'll take care of all that. That's coming like probably second quarter next year.
The 2015 Silverado amp integration, and it does have Ethernet. So, yay.
Where do you see that?
This one right here is 2015 amp integration.
Integration. It does have Ethernet. So yeah, we don't have anything.
Is that what the nav TV piece is for?
That's what you said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nav TV has a Zen piece. They just released it like last week.
Yeah, but I don't think it's shipping yet.
I think it is. I think
Really?
Derek said it got a pretty quick turnaround on that.
Oh,
And
okay.
maybe it's not. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not here to talk about nav TV.
I know. What pack do I need for my Hyundai Veloster 2016 with Dimension audio to keep my stock head unit but replace my factory
So
amplifier?
as far as pack's concerned, we don't have anything for that. You'd have to use like a PDLC 81 after the amp, or the Phoenix Gold DSP after the amp. You'd have to do after the amp integration on that one.
Do they make a radio replacement for that?
Yes, we have the RP 4.2 HY12, and you can add on the RPA SP diff, which will keep your factory amplifier.
But if you wanted to replace the system, so in that case, 2016, you could replace the radio with something that has like CarPlay or Android Auto using that harness, and then of course pull the amplifier and just go from there.
But how many speakers are in that car?
Yeah, but you're doing aftermarket. You don't need to retain all the speakers. You just need to
Bypassing it at that
put
point.
the essential speakers in. You know, just because it's got 20 speakers doesn't mean they needed. They put 20 in there because.
Some
You know.
people want.
Well,
get
you want
weird
all
about
20
us
back.
on that.
Well, hi Ernie.
Who said that? Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
That name sounds familiar. Sorry. I think he's part of the Facebook group or something. Pioneer have a lot of options. Give an option and a button beside the steering wheel button. So if I can probably do another option for the radio. You can reprogram our steering wheel control interfaces to do whatever you want, and you can do short press, long press. So if it's a function Pioneer supports, our modules will do it, and you can do 2 functions per button. So short press and then long press will do a second function. So for example, a lot of people like to put volume down on short press on the volume down button, and then mute on the long press. So if you push and hold the volume down, it mutes the radio.
Yeah, and if you have like a GM that has multi-function buttons, like they have 2 pictures on them,
Yeah.
you can program both. You can match up the pictures. So if like it's track down and hang up, short press is track down, long press is hang up. If you have answer and push to talk, answer is short press, long press is push to talk.
There's another one there. Go back down. He said out of the big 3, who gets the most research from you guys currently? At this moment, it's Chrysler. Prior to that, it was Ford. Prior to that, it was GM. I mean, it really just depends on who we're working on.
Thanks, Jason.
I can tell you out of those 3 that GM is the biggest pain in the rear because they're just all over the place, man. Like we have one engineer that's dedicated to strictly GM versus another engineer who does Ford and Chrysler together. So. Michael Thompson. Oh, from the Insider. Been a while. We've had our battles. Really? Not me and you. I've had some battles on the Insider, but yeah, you're from Minnesota, Wisconsin, somewhere up there, eh? Yeah, I remember you, man. We didn't have no battles. If we did, huh? Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, yeah, here are you. What's the scoop on sound quality for the high-level inputs into your DSP? Can the processor clean up the distortion? I mean, levels and distortion, all that's about gain matching, man. You need a scope and some test tones, and you can always get good sound quality, unless you're working with something that has like a crazy roll-off or crazy equalization from the factory, so.
Okay, dang it, where was it at? It was Kia Sorento. Gosh.
Any for Kia Sorento to keep factory and replace factory? No.
What was that? Oh, do you have any harnesses for the Kia Sorento to keep factory radio and replace factory amp? That would be getting into Hyundai amplifier replacements, like AMPPROs.
04 Yukon with Bose, no OnStar, no rear screens, but have a radio controller and rear console. Rear can use whatever part of the radio I'm not. If I get a dual zone radio, what interface do I need? So, I mean, none of our interfaces retain the dual zone feature. They used to, but we took it out. I mean, our RP5 would retain the rear controls, and it allows you to work the aftermarket radio, but...
well, none of the dual zone features in the aftermarket radio are made to be controlled separately from the main screen.
Has dual steering wheel control inputs.
Yeah, so like the Kenwood has dual zone that's controllable where you can listen to different audio in the rear than in the front off of the factory amplifier, but it's still only controlled via the main control system up front. Not from a separate controller. They don't do that. And then the other thing too is that like the only source that's retainable through that was the Sirius XM. You could retain the Sirius XM, but you'd have to.
That's only in the 29 bits, not in a Class 2.
Oh, so there you go. It's even worse. There you go.
Class 2 is a nightmare, man. Those things are. There's a reason there's no longer Class 2 cars on the road.
Hey, Gene, just got a Pioneer head unit. It's the AVH 2010. Is it SQ type of a head unit? No. No, it's not.
Anything starting in 1 is not.
No, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can go out of it to a DSP, and it will act as a source unit. But, and there again, anytime somebody says SQ, it's different levels of SQ.
Fernando, right there.
Yeah. Fernando, he got 8.
The big guy.
Fernando had to leave early. He had to go. He had some soccer he had to do tonight, so that's why he's not here. But we brought these guys in because we wanted to hit some of the cool features. AMP makes a lot of products. They both work for AMP, and bringing them in, this was something Ernie wanted to do. If it's something you guys really enjoyed, make sure you leave that in the comments because we can get him to come back and talk more about their products. If there's a specific theme, we can do a theme show. The whole idea is now that he's taken over as the head of tech support, he wants to interact and see where the problems are, where the miscommunication is, things that they can do better.
Richard R., did the OEMs ever offer you any collaboration at all? The OEMs. So, I mean, yeah, we work directly with GM. We're a big...
The biggest headache.
But, I mean, we're heavily integrated with them because we make some OEM stuff. But, I mean, it's a funny story, man, to get into these dealerships around here, we just feed them pizza. We're like,
pizza. Here's
30 pizzas. Can we tear apart your car? And they're like, yeah, sure. I'm like, yeah, there you go. So.
How long ever done the SPL in your car?
How long?
No, have you ever seen what the SPL is in your car?
No, I never had my car long enough to bother because people keep crashing into me.
Fair enough.
I've been to like 4 cars in 3 years.
The one guy asked how often do these reps visit. I mean, I'm not really a rep. I just live in Clearwater, and I know Dean, and I work here sometimes. Like, I stop by all the time. And I asked him to do the show because when we're watching the Facebook show, he's always getting barraged with questions about pack stuff. So I'm like, dude, we should do a
show. Yeah. And you guys have asked some really good questions tonight. Thanks so much for tuning into the show. And of course, we did preface a lot of things with email. Give me the email one more time.
support@ampglobal.com.
Or Facebook on any of the main pages.
Yeah, any of our brand pages, Stinger, Phoenix Gold, EchoMaster, Pack, all the brand pages. He monitors all that stuff. There's an AMP Global Dealer Support Facebook page as well. You can go on like that, ask questions. We're all over the place, man.
So by all means, if you have something, you're stuck on something, send them an email, hit them up on Facebook, get them the information, and they'll get back to you. Might not be like within the first 5 minutes, but hey,
within the same day, unless it's a Sunday, that's for sure.
The more details, the better.
Yeah, definitely more details. So make sure you give them make, model, year, any version of the car.
If you're having problems, what you've tried already.
Yeah, so as much information as you can give is going to allow them to answer your question faster. Because if they have to keep asking and asking and remember, they're not in your driveway looking at your car, so.
Or send us pictures.
We also have in the bottom right corner of all of our websites, there's a little widget. It's a search function or a chat widget.
Hold on, let me zoom in.
It's right here. It says help.
Oh, hold on. It's gonna.
Right here.
Oh no. Give me a second. Okay.
You can't see it.
It's right here. It's kind of
there.
Yep.
You go.
There you go.
You can go there and you can hit up any of my guys. I've got 8 different people working tech support. You can do live chat right there as well.
And this is pack-audio.com.
It is, or you can go to Stinger Electronics, Phoenix Gold,
That's
EchoMaster. It's
quickest
on
way,
all of
actually,
them.
to get a hold of anybody.
That's the quickest way. All right, so there again, he's telling you, click that, ask your question. Lots of information is the key. Well, that's it. That brings us to an hour. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Thank you guys so much for participating in this first time we've ever done this. If you guys, like I said, if you guys like this, let us know. These guys were great to come in, but we know other people. We might be able to get some of them to come in and help us as well. The whole idea, of course, is to always, we do this for a living. You guys are the people that are making us, well, be able to do this for a living. So
Food on my table.
Exactly. So it's very important for you guys to understand how this all works. We hammer this stuff down your throat. We want to make sure you understand what we're saying. These guys are here to help along with us. So there again, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. You guys know where we're at. 5 minutes with 5-star. Check in tomorrow. If you have questions about the car stereo stuff that we didn't get a chance to answer tonight, like, hey, what should I buy for a set of speakers or whatever, you guys know what you do. We're going to let these guys get out of here. We're going to let you guys get on with your night. Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful night as always. We'll see you later next time. Bye.